In this video, I'm going to show you a few ways of using ChatGPT to improve your German. This video is catered towards someone who's a complete beginner. So if you're someone who's a beginner and working your way towards A1 fluency in German, you're in the right place. What I'm going to do is I've pre-prepared a list of prompts and I'll walk you through how you can use those prompts and practice your German, irrespective of whatever level you are at. So let's get started. So the first thing that we are going to try and do is I've prepared this prompt, which is a word association game. So maybe you're someone who knows a few words in German here and there. The idea is that can you build your vocabulary and can you learn more about different types of words, right? So what I'm asking ChatGPT is that ChatGPT will give me a word and I have to respond with a related word in German. For example, if ChatGPT says house, I can say Tür, which is door, right? So let's give this a shot. So in this case, ChatGPT says Tisch, which means table. Now think about what would be a word that is related to a table. Maybe a stool, which is a chair, right? So as you can see, I just guessed that with the table a chair goes. So that's what I wrote. Now ChatGPT also gave me a few alternatives that I could use, like a lamp, a teller, which is a plate, and a book. So let's try one more. Fenster, which is window. So I'm just going to try something which is garden. So it says that garden is not related to fenster, but it's a creative association, right? Because you can look out the window and see a garden. But some other words which would be closely associated would be a curtain, a glass, and a view. Now, you may or may not know all these words, but that's okay because that's where we are doing this exercise. That's why we are doing this exercise. So you see these words again and again and you see how they are related to each other. So let's try this. Book. Okay. What would be a word that is related to a book? I'm just going to try something. I said newspaper, which is a great association. Again, I could also say a page, an author, and listen to read. Apfel, okay. So I'm saying orange is related to apple, and car, and I'm saying driving a car. So as you can see, I just tried a few word associations, some of which you may get right, some of which you may make a mistake, but that's okay because we're all learning for the first time. So let's try one more exercise which is slightly more difficult. This exercise is a translation challenge. So it's very simple. ChatGPT is going to give us a few sentences and we'll try and translate them. And again, you may not know all the words, but the idea is that can you find some reference of words, some words that you know or you may have heard or seen before, and then just try and guess what the meaning of the entire sentence would be. So I've also given ChatGPT some examples so I know exactly what kind of question it's going to give me, right? So for example, ich esse gern Brot, which means I like to eat bread. Let's see what kind of sentences is ChatGPT giving me. Ich trinke Tee am Morgen. So I drink tea in the morning. Let's see if this is correct. It's absolutely correct. And again, an important thing is that ChatGPT is also giving me some grammar notes. So I'm also building my sense of grammar and I'm also building my sentence of how do I make better sentences and what's the best way to make sentences, which is a great way to learn these, right? So let's try one more. Wir gehen heute ins Kino. We are going to the movie theater today. Let's see if this is correct. It's absolutely correct. And again, as before, I have a grammar note as well. So of course, if I have more time, I can always go through each and every note and just build a better sense of grammar, and my overall language skills are definitely going to improve, right? So der Hund spielt im Garten. Now, let's say you've heard the word Hund, which means dog. You've heard the word garden, which means garden. You may not know what is spielt, right? Uh, let's take a guess. So the dog is in the garden. Let's say if we wrote this and let's see what happens. Good try, but the correct translation is the dog is playing in the garden. Now, in this case, the way I did my guess was that I knew Hund is dog, Garten is garden. But let's say if you did not know what spielt means, you can see that ChatGPT is correcting the mistake that we made. So, spielt means playing. So, the correct translation is the dog is playing in the garden. And again, as before, there is a grammar note, so I can go through these notes and just build a better sense of my grammar, right? Let's try one last example. Ich kaufe Obst auf dem Markt. I am buying fruits in the market. Let's see if this is correct. Okay, the translation is absolutely correct. So again, you can go on and on and on, but the idea is that you can get ChatGPT to give you random sentences and take a guess at translating those, and feel free to do that in your own pace. So let's try one more exercise, which is going to be slightly more complex. And again, to do this, you do need to have a bit of knowledge about some words here and there. So let's see if we can take a shot at this. In this exercise, ChatGPT is going to give me a simple scene. For example, a park, a kitchen, using beginner friendly A1 vocabulary. What I have to do is I have to describe the same scene back in German. So again, you can always change the details and be creative with the words that you already know. So let's take a shot at what we can do with this exercise. So ChatGPT says, im Park gibt es einen Teich, viele Bäume und eine Bank. Es sind ein paar Menschen da, die spazieren gehen. Now again, maybe the sentence is too complex for you or too long for you and you don't know all the words. That's okay. The important thing is, can you understand and see a few keywords, right? So let's see if we can guess those. So I can see that there is a park. Okay, now let's say I don't know about any of these other words. Can I take a guess and think what happens in a park? So let's say in park gibt es. What can happen in a park? What would happen? Maybe there are some children who play football. Okay, let's take a guess. Kinder spielen Fußball. And that's it, right? Like maybe you're a beginner and you don't know much, and you can at least get started with this. So but ChatGPT is going to correct your mistakes here. So I said what I wanted to say was that there are some children who are playing football here, but the corrected version is im Park gibt es Kinder, die Fußball spielen, which means in the park there are some children who are playing football. So you get a gist of what the exercise looks like, right? Let's try one last example and see how that works. Im Park gibt es einen Hund, der läuft neben dem Tisch. Again, same example of the park. So maybe let's see. Viele. So what I'm trying to say is there is a park in which there are many flowers, there are many trees, and people are walking. So, but the corrected version is im Park gibt es viele Bäume und Menschen, die spazieren gehen. Again, it's saying it's correcting my mistakes. It's also giving me some grammar notes on how can I correct my mistakes. So you can just keep trying this and keep practicing, and the more you practice, the more you're going to get better at this. But the idea is that ChatGPT is really smart and it can do a lot. All you have to do is just learn how to get creative and learn how to use it to your best advantage, because it's almost as if you have your own personal tutor. So you can make a lot of mistakes, it's going to correct your mistakes and also help you learn and improve further. And you can always practice with ChatGPT. So I hope you found this video useful. If you have a friend, if you have someone, if you know someone who's preparing for an A1 German exam, feel free to share this video with them, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.